We got a lot of ground to cover over the next couple weeks, and that should be very exciting. Hello, everyone. My name is Brendan. Once again, if you are coming back to the channel, thank you so much. If you are new, I would say go watch a whole bunch of other our videos to see where we come from. But to sum it up, I am one of the co-owners of the Rustic Tub, a small bath and body care company in the heart of tiny Ontario, essentially cottage country area. And we are just bath bomb and like soap enthusiasts who just really wanted to share our journey with you and with what we do. We have a lot of ground to cover over the next couple weeks, so we're going to be going to town filming for the next couple days pretty hard. Jumping right on into the heat of everything that you're going to see going forward, over the next couple weeks, we are going to be uploading essentially us making our holiday line for you. So I know we uploaded a short, a tiny little ways back of our Christmas soap that we are doing. And someone said, isn't it a little early to be working on that? Actually, no, I am so far behind on doing our holiday season. I should have been doing it back at the beginning of October. And I know that sounds so weird, but being a small business and like making everything by yourself, you have to really prep for everything going forward. And I have been a procrastinator on that end. And I will say a fun little moment going forward. You're going to see the next couple videos of me pretty much in the exact same thing. And that is literally because I'm making all of our holiday stuff over the next 2 to 3 days. So I'm also going to try to record everything that we're going to do for it. And for today's video, we're actually jumping into one of our bath bombs that we do for the holiday. And it's one of our more fun bath bombs. It's not going to be a regular one that you see. It's going to be one that we like to bring joy and a little bit of fear into people. Now, we introduced this bath bomb actually last year was the first time we did it, and we did not expect the response that it got. We honestly didn't know how it was going to go. It was either going to go really good, or it was going to be completely on the other spectrum and be really bad. Thank goodness it was the first one being really good. So this year we are bringing it back, and we are bringing forward, and little drum roll for this one, it's going to be so original. It's our Merry Grinchmas bath bomb. And no, I did not mess up the word Christmas. I really did mean Grinchmas. So I'm going to throw it out there right now before we dive on into everything. The literal fragrance that we're using for today, it's from Voyager, and it's called You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. It is lemon, lime, orange, and a bit of vanilla. So it has like that citrus kick to it, but it's also really sweet, which is perfect for what I want to go with today because this is literally the inspiration for us. So what's going to make this bath bomb different from our other ones is it is considered our big bomb. So if you've looked on our website or our social media at all, you see that we have like giant round bath bombs. I have half of the mold here. I left half of it down there. So part of it is here. And what makes this one special is we do make it a green color, but then there is a hidden coal surprise inside, which is just a black imbed. So you start off thinking you're going to have this very merry little bath bomb going on, and then poof, it turns instantly black, like how the Grinch stole Christmas. So to jump right on into everything with what we're using today, I am going to measure out our liquids on camera. I already have our citric acid, our baking soda ready to go. And then I have our dry mixtures, which is just our cream of tartar, our bentonite clay, and bioturge. That's the other one that's in there. And the reason we use a bentonite clay, just to throw this random fact in there, is it's actually clay from volcanic ash. And it's really good for the skin. It's really good for, the word I want to say is purifying, but it's good for cleansing. It's good for the pores of it. It's good for any form of breakouts as well. And it is a little bit heavier than the other clay, so you really have to play around with what measurement you want and what kind of mixture you want to go for. So we don't throw in much, but we do throw it in just for the sake of the skin. So without further ado, we're going to measure out our liquids, kind of throw everything into the mixer. We're going to put our gloves on, and then we're going to have it all matched out and then make some embeds for it for the next portion of it. So let's go. All right, we're working with our lovely counter that does need a replacement plastic top for it, but To start us off, I am going to start by pouring out the water just to add to the baking soda to help bloom the color. And for this bath bomb, since we want it to be a specialty green, I actually use two types of green, both of which are from Fizzberry, if you can't tell that I don't love them yet. So the first one is our emerald green. The second one is our apple green dye, both from Fizzberry, like I said. I'm going to go ahead, mix it on up. And once it's mixed and looking dark and shady in color, I think we are good to add that. So with our bowl of baking soda, I'm just going to go ahead, dump it in. It's okay to scoop up a little bit. I like to get out all the color from it. And once the cup is scraped out as best as your ability can be, we go ahead, we're going to throw this on the mixer. So we're going to do that, and we're going to start pouring our liquids and watching everything go. Okay, coming in hot over here with freshly melted avocado butter. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that into our liquid mix. And I wanted to do this one on camera just because if I leave this out with the cold weather we're having here in Ontario, she will freeze up really fast. So best to show everyone on camera. I'm going to reset the scale just because some of my math measurements aren't the greatest. So I'm going ahead, adding in our isopropyl alcohol, so it's 99%. You can use a 70. I personally wouldn't, just because 70 takes a lot longer for it to set up. You want something to evaporate fast. Okay, hitting up next with our avocado oil, because as you know, we throw avocado oil in all of our products. And finally, if you can see it, it's You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. So I wasn't joking by the name of it. It's actually called that, and it smells absolutely fun and amazing. Okay, with our liquids, we're actually going to be going ahead, adding this to our mixture now, and then throwing in our citric acid, and then we're going to be pressing it out. So let's go ahead and get that going. Okay, so I will say I do want this mixture to be a little bit on the wetter side, just because it's going to be a hollow bath bomb. And this is actually holding up pretty well. The good test is to squeeze it and then drop it to see if it holds shape. So it's holding its shape pretty good. So with that, I think we are good to take it out and to start pressing. Okay, so we might be in for an interesting press here. Our humidity level is about 32. 45 to 50 is what we want to aim for. So these are probably set up really fast. So we have our half dome molds ready to go right here. It is a 3-part mold that we use for it. So with that going forward, we fill this up. I do a little scoop around there, and then when I press down, it just really helps with the mold of the dome. So we're going to do a couple of them and hope that it does press out very nicely. And then I'll also try to remain as much on camera as possible. If I veer off a little bit, I'll just do some fun little editing technique. So when it comes to a mold like this, I personally like to have a wetter mold just because it's going to hold the shape a little bit better, especially in a time like this when our hollow bath bombs, I like them to hold their shape. So with this now, I should be able to flip it over and gently tap it out. And that is our first half of it. So we're going to do all the rest of them. So we will come back when this tray is all good to go. Okay, so we did get 20 out of this batch. Normally we do average about 21 to 22. 20 is still fine because it's perfect for an even number. So although it looks like 20, it's actually 10 because when these dry and cure, this is going to be one, that's another one. So the two halves will come together. So for this portion, with our next space down below that I'll show you soon, we're going to be coming forward with our black imbed that's going to go inside. And I can already see nice little water trapped air bubble in there. So someone is volunteering itself to be the nice little sacrifice for the video later on. Okay, so diving right on to the next portion of this little bath bomb, I have our 1 part to 1 of citric acid and 1 part to 1 of baking soda. This is how we make our imbeds. And then I did a 1/4 teaspoon of black, with a half of a quarter of a teaspoon of an extra black, just to really make it pop, if that measurement makes sense. In my head, it doesn't. On camera, I don't know, it might. So for the embed, we just go ahead, do a couple sprays of water for each round. We really just want to break down the components, so we have these hard little baking soda bits that we will just kind of massage into the mix, break it down. And I know I've said it in a couple of videos where the black dye actually doesn't look black when you mix it in with everything. It's going to look gray. That is totally normal. This will turn black once you get it into the water for it to be activated. Ultimately, with this mix, we are looking for something that resembles kinetic sand. Do the little drop test from there, make sure it holds, and she's ready to be pressed. So for this mold, we actually have a giant, it kind of looks like a dice block to me. So we're going to go ahead, fit that together. We're going to fill it up as, well, about halfway. I was going to say as much as we can, but halfway is the answer. And then we're going to go ahead and press it together and put it on the board. So we 3D printed this mold just because we really did want to have a lot larger embed pieces for it. So this one is just nice because it does it all in one go. And sometimes the best part about it is when you want to release it, you can just push it down. You kind of get a little bit of an edge right there. And for embeds, you normally do have to have a fast working time with it because you can kind of tell that it does start to crust up very, very fast. Their setting time is a lot quicker because there's not a lot of components to really help out. Okay, so a closer up shot of the bath bombs now that they're done. As you can see, we said this little guy was going to be our tester from beforehand. But they are currently going to set up for the next 24 hours. We have a nice little tester star right there. And down below, we have our embeds that are going to cure for the same time. So when these babies are dry, cured, ready to go, we're going to be putting them together and adding a little bit of paint and testing them out. So I will see you in 24 hours and or 1 second on YouTube video time. Well, all right. These babies are officially fully cured, just off to the side, ready to go. So the next step is for this one, obviously, we are going to be painting them. I'm only painting one half of them because, like I said in a previous video, 2 of them become one whole. I only need to paint one top, and that's the top that the side's going to see. So with that, we're going to bring the camera angle down a little bit so you can see what I do. I'm going to keep the painting on this one very, very simple. It's just going to be a sploosh, sploosh, sploosh with an eyedropper. And then we're going to be going ahead, transferring the bottom pieces into our bath bomb tray. And then we're going to be filling it with our black embed, sealing it, letting them cure, and then they can finally be ready to go. So without further ado, we'll swap this up so you can watch me have a nice little shaky painty, and we'll go from there. Okay, because I do have a little tester piece here, might as well just do a nice little stripe across from it, just so I can differentiate what green ones I have made and what not. All right, and what I did was I just separated one half from the other half, just so I know not to keep on going through the whole thing. So with that being said, I think we are ready to just kind of stripe across. I didn't want to do splatters with this one. I've done splatters in a lot of our bath bombs. This one, I don't know what the inspiration is for. I was going to say Christmas lights, but Christmas lights aren't red. And I didn't want to do a splatter because I feel like that would be too much like a Halloween blood splatter. So red Christmas tree lights it is. Let's just go with that. All right, got to mix up the mica powder a little bit more for it to be slightly stronger. We're just going to add a couple little sploops on areas where I feel bare. And normally when it comes to this kind of stuff, I like asymmetry. I like seeing different designs, so I don't do the whole thing covered like that. That is just a personal thing. Everyone is different with how they like it. Okay, as much as I like this little design, let's add a little bit of more life into it. So I did end up making a little gold for it because when I said Christmas tree lights, I now think of Christmas tree garland. And every part of me was like, yeah, let's go with that. So I didn't have any gold. So what I ended up doing to make gold was I mixed 4 parts yellow to 2 parts orange, or 2 parts one part of the other. And that's going to get me my nice little gold on it. So I want this to look like little tiny gold Christmas lights. So I'm just going to go ahead, keep going with that, randomly placing them on well, not on the red, but by the red. That way they look like a little string of lights. So in reality, these bath bombs are actually super, super simple for us to make, but they are also super effective with the outcome that we aim for. So one imbed is all it takes for these babies. It's going to be a nice little hollow one so kids can shake it to hear what's inside, or people just buy it for a nice little prank for their loved ones or happy ones, or just a fun little gathering all together. And then it's going to crack open and boom. So that is our black imbed in there ready to go. We're now going to go ahead and do our little surrounding sealer, and then we're going to pop them off and let them finish curing. Our little mixture of cocamidal, propylbutane, and baking soda. I did do a couple drops of water just to get an extra activation. There was a while a couple weeks ago where I just used water to glue the bath bombs together, and it worked. And it was a great little last minute fixer for those oopsie scenarios where they do come apart sometimes. So this time around, I'm just giving it a nice little fix up just to see how this one will hold when everything fully cures. Okay, finally, the most difficult part, throwing on the tops of the bath bombs. So it's going to sound weird when I say that this is the difficult process, and I actually mean it when I say it. And it's just because a lot of the times, once you put these on, you kind of let them naturally sink, let gravity do its thing. However, gravity also likes to have fun with it, and it will take part in the form of also being slippery. So by the time I put the last one on, you can probably see that the first couple ones are already going on their own little adventure. So what I will do is I will kind of push down from there and do a little twist. And I know there's no screw top action for it, but it just kind of helps secure everything all together to prevent any little runaways. When we do our big dragon eggs and everything and our pocket monster balls, they really take hold of their little adventure. So with that, we will let them cure off to the side, let them do their thing, and they're good to go. So in reality, they are done. They're good. They'll take a couple hours to finish, kind of let everything cure and harden up in there, and then they're ready to go. So these kind of bath bombs will always take a little bit more than a 24-hour period for the full cure. But at the end of the day, like, we find that it's just so much more worth it, and the experience is so much more there. So I'm not going to pick any up to like bring to the camera to show you because I don't need the pops to top off so early in the game. However, if you are looking to see how they look when they are being tested, we do have a short on our YouTube video. I think you just go over, click on shorts, and we have this baby testing right off to the side. We did it a couple days ago. Just to kind of showcase everything. So if you're watching this down the road and I say a couple days ago, you're going to have to do a fun time scrolling. And then for our big bath bombs like this, we always throw an imbed in. So of course, we will have our recipe up on our Patreon if you want to go over there and show some love and support. And from there, you can kind of see like just what we do to get ready for everything from that point. We upload the best of our ability. And when I say we, it's me who does the uploading. So I do it to the best of my ability. And finally, if you like what you see, please do not forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give us a nice little thumbs up and follow. We love every single supporter that we're getting so far. We love every one of our Patreons so far. And this is literally just the kickoff to our holiday events, and it already feels like it's like week 57. So from here on out, I'm still so excited to show you what we are doing and what we are also coming out with. And until next time, thank you so, so much for watching as always. I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.